Greetings, Saber fans. It's your old pal Megtooth Sith, and it's been a while since I've done a video, so I've been doing a lot of work. I got a lot of projects going on. I got a little TrooperCom thing coming, which uses the MyCom prop file and the Proffie OS, and doing a couple of these for me and a buddy, a little trowel run, so to speak. Big thing is this. So this is a E11, and this model is by Brian Roller. He's of the Carolina Garrison. He is TK 14082 in the Carolina Garrison, Brian Roller. So he built this model, and this model is really cool. It's got a functional bolt, and it's got, you know, the Hegster Counter. The magazine actually has a magazine release on it, and you know, the magazine stays in there until you hit the release, and then it comes out. The trigger resets. It's also got an indexing selector switch. The indexing's broke because I broke the part right before I went live, or right before I filmed this video. But the coolest part about Brian Roller's model of this E11 Stormtrooper rifle is the actual working folding stock. So I got it. My Hegster Counter is not glued on yet, and I'll show you why. But that's the Hegster Counter fell off. But yeah, the folding stock is functional and actually locks into place, and there's actually a locking mechanism here. That's what I was fiddling with. You know, to get it to unlock, you actually have to push that, push in, and then it unlocks, which is really cool. And then there's also an unlocking mechanism for the collapsing stock, which is in here. It's a button you got to press, and you get the stock that's collapsed. And then there's actually a latch there, and that latch, that's how the folding stock stows, and the Hegster Counter fell off. So, at any rate, I'm going to install this E11 with Proffie. And so, Brian, you know, this will be pretty cool. I don't know if you've seen this done with your model before, but I hate doing this, but I actually cut out his counter here, the Hegster Counter, and I'm installing a OLED screen here. And there's actually going to be a button here which is going to work, and this is going to be my auxiliary button for the Proffie Blaster prop file. Because Brian designed this with a resetting trigger that uses pin springs, I'm actually going to set my button, you know, my trigger button behind the trigger, and the wires will run up into here. Now, what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to put the tri-cree actually on the front of the bolt, and then it'll be forward. And the bolt will be secured in there permanent, so the tri-cree will be broadcasting here on the front. I'll kind of give you a demo of what that's going to look like later. And then the rest of my chassis will be behind the bolt. It'll be an 18650 20mm speaker for now, but I may make it bigger. Recharge port and Proffie. And I've already tested it, and I get such good shine through just from the tri-cree LED. I don't think I'm going to do any neopixels in this at all. It's pretty awesome. So my E11 blaster for my TK outfit, and thank you Brian Roller for the model. It's awesome. And I'm working on the crucible to work on a counter maybe for the bullets that are fired. But even if it doesn't, I'll show you what this is doing already, which is pretty cool. So thank you everybody, and we'll get ready to demo the experiment. Greetings everyone. I know this is going to be crazy, and I know Mountain Sabers built me this rig which I can test stuff like this on, but I was so excited about wiring this, I just went ahead and went with what I knew, which is MHSB6. So I'm going to go ahead and put the battery in. I've got a 7/8 tri-cree in here. Now this is a RGB tri-cree, and I don't have the green hooked up, I just have the red and the blue. The actual tri-cree that's going in here is red, red, blue. I'll have red hooked up to LEDs 1 and 2, and then blue hooked up to LED 3. Like I said, I'm not going to run any neopixels, but I am running the OLED screen, and the OLED screen's doing some pretty cool stuff, which I'll show you. So, you know, I'm going to get the battery in with positive. I'm going to show you the OLED screen. I'm hoping it shows on video. Oops, upside down. Oh no, what? You can see it shows Proffie OS 7.8, and then it goes to the Imperial cogs for the battery meter. And, you know, I'll show you some more later. Okay, so I showed you the OLED screen. You can see the Rebel cogs there. And I'll show you some more stuff later on that. But basically, you know, when you first turn it on, it's in It's in stun mode. We're working to fix that, so it's in blast mode. But to change modes, it's a 2-second press on aux. 1, 2. And that's single fire or semi-automatic. If you do a 2-second press on aux, it gives you auto fire. 1, 2. Oops. I did a. Well, let's do a. There's automatic. Short presses. A 2-second press on aux actually changes the preset. So that was my bad. I'm still getting. It's hard for me to remember all these button presses, but a double tap on aux plays music. One, two.
Desert Eagle, keep fire at will.
1, 2.
He's no good to me dead.
1, 2.
Imperial trooper.
So you can see it reads them, then it goes to the battery meter and the Imperial cog, which is pretty cool. So I'm going to show you where that's going to be displayed on the on my E11. On my E11, that display is going to be right here. It'll be painted to blend in, and it's going to set a little bit better than that, but that's where it's going to go. And then I can kind of give you a preview on what this is going to look like. I can put still missing 2 bolts out of there, but there's your red. You can see it propagates pretty well down the barrel. You can see it, the shot propagating underneath the T-tracks. And it'll be much louder than that. To give you an idea of the volume it's going to be. So, Proffie E11 Blaster in the works, and we'll be working on the code to make hopefully make that OLED do some pretty cool stuff, like maybe even get a counter working on there. I know Frederick's been wanting to get that counter working for a while, and I'm pretty excited about this build. So I did that quick mock-up, quick and dirty, and right now I got a Mando helmet over here printing on my printer. I had a printer fail. Actually lost my thermistor on the bed and had to take the whole thing apart and replace the thermistor. But you can see I'm almost back to where I was on that helmet. So, that helmet's on the roll. Up here, I've got my Mando armor. I just added a new piece of armor up here. So that's solid. And then over here, you've got, all my Graflexes and my Star Killer, and there's an OWK hilt, and then one of my Kylo Ren Black Series. There's another E11 blaster up there, along with some custom sabers, and then you get to my Kylo Ren section there, and then there's a couple more sabers there. Darth Maul staff. None of those aren't installed except for the Kylo Ren one. All the rest of them aren't installed yet, but lots of stuff going on my bench, and Jen's business has been really busy too. But thank you all for watching, and hopefully as this develops, you can see, I don't know if y'all saw, but I'm using a Proffie 1.5. So Proffie 1.5s are still really cool, especially for a blaster function. I mean, a blaster is relatively simple, And you got blast, auto, and stun, And then, you know, whatever we can make the OLED do is going to be a bonus. You can see I busted a wire off the OLED, so the OLED's not working anymore. But, you know, it's still very, very cool. Thank you all for watching. May the Force be with you. And the dark side is at work. Thank you, everybody, for watching. As usual, I really appreciate y'all tuning in on my channel. And as always,